Speech is Snake in the House. Give me a warm welcome for Joe Jones.
Don't start the clock yet. We're halfway through the program. Everybody just stand up for a second and face the front of the room. Stand up, face the front of the room. You folks right across there, face that end of the room. Face that end of the room, please. And raise your hands straight up above your head. Everybody raise your hands, that's it. Now, I want you to lower them onto the shoulders of the person in front of you and rub their shoulders 25 times. 25 times. After 25 times, put your hands back up in the air and stretch. Turn 180 degrees. And rub the other person's shoulders 25 times. And if it feels real good, say, "Oh baby, oh baby." After you've done that, you can be seated. Maybe I'm the only one. Has anyone in here ever discovered a snake in their house? If you have, raise your hands. Any of you? Oh, several. Great. When we're finished, I want to hear your story, because you're about to hear mine. About 15 years ago, I was still single and lived alone with my cat, and I was reared back in my recliner one night watching TV, just about to go to sleep. When out of the corner of my eye, I saw something I had never seen before. Slithering out from under my couch about 4 feet away was a snake. Snake in the house! It was not supposed to be there. My first reaction, I slammed down the recliner, jumped out of the recliner, ran to the garage to get my shovel to kill that evil invader. Came back in with that shovel, and it had gone back under the couch and then slithered over behind my TV set where all my stereo equipment was and all these wires and cables, and it was wound in amongst them. And so I took this shovel and I was really ready to stab that snake, and a moment of rational thought occurred. If I do this, I'm going to tear up about $500 worth of cable and equipment. And so instead of jabbing that snake, I just tried to tease it a little bit to get it to move out. Now, you've heard of the term herding cats? Any of you ever heard how do you herd a snake out of the house? I hadn't. I didn't know what to do. That snake would just sit there coiled up and it would hiss. It would hiss. It was mad. And I couldn't think of what to do to get it. I even started singing Barbara Streisand. Didn't have anything out of the house. Snake wouldn't move. It was late at night. I finally decided, I can't, this is a face-off. I'm going to have to go to bed. So I went to bed. I went into my bedroom, and I stuffed towels underneath my door. I'm a 40-year-old man at this time, folks. Stuffed towels underneath the door so that snake couldn't get in, and went to bed. Surprisingly, I went to sleep. About 2 o'clock in the morning, I felt something licking my foot. Whoa! I threw the sheets off and turned on the light and looked, and there was nothing. Just my imagination. Went ahead, went back to sleep, got up the next morning, took the towels out from underneath the door, walked into the living room, looked, couldn't find the snake anywhere, got dressed and went to work. Now you want to start some rumors at work. Go in and tell them you've got a snake in your house. They will come up with more suggestions and solutions than you can imagine. One guy who was quick to speak up said, the answer is mothballs. Snakes hate mothballs. Put them around your house. So that afternoon, after work, I bought 6 bags of mothballs. And I put them all around the inner perimeter of my home, thinking this will flush that snake out. And within about 2 hours, I don't know if it had flushed the snake out, but the stink flushed me out. couldn't stay there that night. I had to stay over at my sister's house. The smell was so strong. Came over early the next morning, and I thought, I've got to air the house out. I can't leave it like this. So I had an oscillating fan and put it in the living room, turned it on so it would help. And I opened some of the windows and even cracked the doors open, thinking maybe the snake would find its way out. Went to work, and that evening, when I got home, I walk in through the garage door into the kitchen, and across the living room, I can see my cat. And my cat, you know what a bird dog is? Ever seen an Irish setter, how they point? And this cat was pointing. And it was frozen stiff like that. And I thought, that cat sees that snake. And I looked in the direction the cat was looking, and sure enough, I've got a little round table with a drape to the floor with a lamp and my telephone and some pictures on it, and the drape was moving with the face. I thought, I've got it now. So where did I go? To the garage, got the shovel, came back in with that shovel, and I was just about to ram that shovel into that base of that table where the drape moved, and I had another rational thought. I thought, if I do this, I'm going to first knock the lamp off, all those pictures and my telephone, and probably destroy. And at that moment, I saw it move again. And then I'm standing there looking at this. My pant leg moved. And I'm thinking, what? And I happen to glance over. Do you remember that oscillating fan? Every time it would swing, that drape would move. I'm standing there feeling like an idiot. I looked over there, and the cat is not pointing anymore. The cat's on his back laughing with his legs in the air like this. And so what I calmly took the shovel, go out into the garage, put the shovel up, and look, there it is. I got it now. There's 2 boxes laying out there, and I saw about this much of a snake in between these 2 boxes. And this is not for the squeamish. I mean, I was out for blood. I took that shovel and I went bam, 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 and I noticed it wasn't moving very much. Bam, bam, and I thought, what's going on? And so I took the shovel and I lifted the edge of one of the cardboard boxes up to discover that I had just shredded my 10-speed bicycle inner tube. And I'm thinking, what kind of fool am I, really? So, the next day they said, well, who have you called? Who have you talked to? And I said, well, I went, and this was back in the days of what they called the Yellow Pages. I'm not going to ask how many of you are old enough to remember the Yellow Pages. I opened the Yellow Pages, I'm looking in there, and there's a guy named Trapper Jack, that's his name, Trapper Jack. And he will trap any kind of varmint you can name. And so I called this number, just out of curiosity, and sure enough, he answered the phone. I was talking with him, told him I had a snake. You know what he charges to come out to your home to remove a snake? $3,000. And that's if you can point to the snake. If he has to find it, he charges you $500 more. I'm sitting there thinking, I already got one snake in my house. What do I need to invite another one in for? It's frustrating. I mean, what are you going to do? How do you get a snake out? So the next number that I happened to call, someone mentioned to me, have you called Hillsborough County Animal Control? I said, no. So I got on the phone, and I dialed them. And I got a lady on the phone and told her what the deal was. She said, well, don't panic. It's not a threatening snake, more than likely, and I thought, easy for you to say. And she asked me, she said, do you have a garbage can, Mr. Jones? And I said, well, of course I do. She said, do you have a heating pad? And I said, yeah. She said, if you place the garbage can at the location where you last saw the snake, and put the heating pad inside and plug it in, the snake will come onto the heating pad during the night. And in the morning, you just get up and take the lid from the garbage can, place it on the garbage can, take it outside, we'll come by and pick it up. Well, I knew mothballs didn't work. So I decided to roll up my sleeves and set it. I got the garbage can, put it in there. Got the heating pad, extension cord, plugged it in. The trap was set. And I went to bed after stuffing the towels underneath the door. Next morning I get up, tiptoe out into the hallway, and I look across the room, and sure enough, coiled up inside on that heating pad was the cat. Cat's in there, got this look on his face like, what? I'm like, this is not bad. Folks, I've lived in that house a long, long time. And to this day, I cannot tell you what happened to that snake.
Wow. Great